Bitcoin crushing through $17,000, currently trading $17,300. Bitcoin, are you going to slow down? Or are we going straight to $20,000? What is going on? We're going to check out on the Bitcoin charts what we need to look out for and what you need to be ready for in the coming days. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Please hit that subscribe on the way in. Hit that like button 1,000,001 times. I appreciate you. Let's jump into the Bitcoin video. So here we go. This is Bitcoin on the 6-hour chart. I just tweeted, this was earlier this morning. Bitcoin is above $17,000 for the first time in almost 3 years. It's just crazy. And if you're zoomed out on the weekly chart, you can see basically back here. And Bitcoin was not above $17,000 for very long before plummeting into the bear market low. Many of you here through the bear market, and we've did so many videos. Here's one, February 11th, 2019, Bitcoin, $3,600. Doesn't it feel like yesterday? Bitcoin was just there. We did the video, Bitcoin climbing out of bear market. Here's one, February 4th, 2019, $3,400. Bitcoin buying the fear. Take a quick look at this. So would now be a good time to buy Bitcoin back in 2015. 60% overextended from the 50 EMA on the weekly. Would now be a good time to accumulate Bitcoin. 50 to 60% overextended on the weekly. These are very simple principles in technical analysis, the principles of moving averages. Everybody, I'm showing that clip first, not just to celebrate the fact that we're actually out of that bear market. It's $17,000 now, but there's something I use there. It's called historical data in basically timing the bottom of the bear market almost perfectly. Really just saying now was a great time to buy Bitcoin around $3,400 because we were climbing out of or getting ready to exit the bear market low. And I'm using the same principles in terms of what I'm talking about in my most recent videos. So if you've been watching, thank you. And if you continue watching, thank you. And let's discuss what are some of these things, right? We're just to recap, Bitcoin has broken through the bull market doors. This is a time definitely to celebrate, to just be excited about the path that Bitcoin is on. It's on a very bullish trajectory. It's almost exactly on pace with what we've been anticipating from the bear market low. I mean, the chart is just so on pace. So things are good, right? If you're a long-term Bitcoin bull, things are good. But I want to start digging into just some really key things right now. So Bitcoin currently, in terms of the daily chart, is 32% overextended. And I'm going to keep updating this because Bitcoin keeps going up and I really want to keep tracking this. This is one of the most important things that we can track, the overbought and overextended movements of Bitcoin right now. Now, in videos past, I've talked about basically accumulating Bitcoin, right? We know what it looks like in the bottom of a bear market, right? On the way down, we just saw a clip. But what does it look like in a bull market? Can you accumulate Bitcoin in a bull market? And I've talked about often in other videos what that looks like. And it's very, very much illustrated in the last bull market, what that would look like. And that looks like this. If you want to buy Bitcoin in an upward move, as Bitcoin is just cruising to new all-time highs, you want to buy the dips. And there are dips, and there will be dips, right? So this is the dip that we've been talking about most recently in these videos. This was like a 30% dip, Bitcoin as it tests the bull market doors. And then we're really testing support at the top of the bull market doors right here, 30% dip, not too long after. And then we have like a month or so, almost a 40% dip. And then a month and a half later or so, we have another almost 40% dip. Those are accumulation scenarios. When Bitcoin is dipping 30%, 40%, that's what it looks like. And I don't know, this is my thoughts. These are my thoughts in terms of what it looks like to accumulate Bitcoin and what I'm prepared for. But I'm not keen, I'm not interested in buying Bitcoin right now when it's 17,366, breaking the bull market doors. We're almost in that very historical overbought area for Bitcoin. And this isn't a bad thing. This is how the data is being presented on the charts. I'm more interested in buying dips. I'm more interested in buying the bear market low, right? And so when we're looking at Bitcoin, and yes, we're going to get to the 6-hour chart here in a second. we always have to zoom out in the charts, and I'm going to continue doing so just to put just daily reminders, not just for you, but for me. I have to do that for myself to really get full perspective on what is going on with Bitcoin. And it's very important, at least for me. So this is a daily chart, and we just talked about Bitcoin on the weekly being overbought, or at least approaching that historical overbought area. You can see it right here approaching. I mean, we're at that 80 line. Anything 80 to 90, you have to be very careful. But going to the daily, I want to just point out to you 32% overextended from the 50 moving average. Now, I want to pull this up. Let's pull up a histogram on this daily chart to really give an illustration. I've done this a couple other times on this channel, but we put the 50-day moving average as a histogram. And what we look at is the illustration of historically, Bitcoin always gets pulled back into that area. And I talk about Bitcoin being like this dolphin, especially in a bull market environment. It's like coming out of the water and going back in the water in this bull market environment. And you can just see it. Here it is in the last bull market, Bitcoin doing that, right? So we're just overextended, quick dip back into the water, boom, overextended, quick dip, and then it just keeps doing that, right? And we're looking for something similar. But one thing is true, 100% of the time, Bitcoin comes back down into the water, right? And that's just my illustration. That's just how I look at this. That's how I look at the 50-day moving average. And right now, Bitcoin's 32% overextended from that area. That doesn't mean we can't keep going. Let's go look at Bitcoin. Last time it tested the same exact area on the Bitcoin charts. We've talked about this exact move so often. If we're looking at a weekly chart, just to give you an idea, let me just zoom out here a little bit. Let me get rid of this. This is what we're going to be looking at. Just this move right here. Bitcoin breaking into the bull market back then in 2016, 2017. We're going to look at this on the daily chart. And this is what this move looks like for Bitcoin. It was 37% overextended on the daily chart from the 50-day moving average right here. And it just came back down. And that's really overextended for Bitcoin in terms of how overbought Bitcoin was getting. And it gives you perspective of where Bitcoin is now. And I want to throw this out there. And I have to be very transparent with you when I tell you, I don't know exactly like when there's going to be a Bitcoin dip. This thing could just keep going. I said at the beginning of the video, are you just going to go to $20,000 Bitcoin? What are you doing? I talk about that. Like Bitcoin gets into these environments where it just goes parabolic, right? And it gets almost impossible to even do technical analysis. A good illustration of that is really at the end of the last bull market. Bitcoin was going crazy, and you might think it's overbought here, and it just keeps going and it keeps going, and then it keeps going, and finally there's the dip. I don't know when the dip's going to be, everybody. Nobody does. Nobody knows. And I talked about in yesterday's video the sentiment, the environment right now is way different as Bitcoin breaks through these bull market doors this time around. And let me just zoom out on the chart real quick. The sentiment here, as Bitcoin is making this move, right? As Citibank is projecting like a $300,000 Bitcoin, PayPal's on board selling crypto, that's different than what was actually occurring here. There was like bearish news out of China. Like there wasn't like much of the same bullish sentiment as there is now. This could push Bitcoin even way further into overbought territory. I'm not here to predict. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here sharing data with you and trying just to instill this mental preparation that I find so important for myself. I'm trying to share the data with you so that we can all be prepared, because there will be a dip, right? And if not, then you know what? I will gladly be wrong if Bitcoin just does the unthinkable. The one thing it's never done, the one thing that a lot of newbies in crypto think it's going to do, which is basically this. This is what Bitcoin will do if there is no dip, right? So it's unrealistic, but if it did it, I would gladly do a video every day. It's just reminding you all how wrong I am. But right now, Bitcoin is kind of in that overbought territory, and we have to anticipate these things. And it all starts with things like overextension from the 50-day moving average, overbought on the weekly. These are more macro zoomed out charts, right? And historically, 100% of the time, we get these types of moves. And I'm sorry to be talking about a dip. I'm trying to also integrate just how bullish and exciting this is. And so let's go to the 6-hour chart, and we can kind of end here. The 6-hour chart, everybody, we're in a pattern. Put aside all the zoomed out, overbought stuff. We've broken out of a trend line. We've been tracking this rising wedge. We've broken out, and we have a target of $19,000. If Bitcoin continues this trajectory, currently $17,450, potentially maybe some short-term resistance right here, $18,000. It's a target that we had out of a symmetrical triangle, also in play. We got the breakout out of that symmetrical triangle right around November 11th or so. So Bitcoin can totally cruise up, maybe hit some short-term resistance, come back down, test the apex of this rising wedge, and continue to a $19,000 target. That is 100% in play, and we can talk about that in the upside because Bitcoin right now, you can see on the 6-hour chart, is moving up. It's not moving down, right? So we want to talk about potential support, potential short-term resistance, and that's kind of what we're looking at right here. And if we can even take out a Fibonacci retracement, and we can take our swing low that we just had November 15th, a couple days ago. I don't know where this swing high is going to land us, but if it's right exactly where Bitcoin is now, we have a key Fibonacci retracement support area down here around 16,500 to 16,100. You know, as Bitcoin is making these moves of higher highs and higher lows, confluent with different patterns, Bitcoin has a tendency to revisit Fibonacci retracements for continuation. And so that's kind of what I'd be looking for right now. In terms of where Bitcoin is right now, on the flip side of the Fibonacci retracement, our swing high November 12th or so to our swing low, Bitcoin is far overextended this higher high 1618 area on the Fibonacci retracement. So Bitcoin is just absolutely going crazy, looking very bullish right now. And you can see the 1618 very close and confluent with this upper trend line here. So this was definitely a bullish break for Bitcoin. Probably on the short term makes sense if you're a little bit more risky to buy Bitcoin there, if people are buying Bitcoin as Bitcoin moves up. And so people are probably doing that. And actually, along with that, I'm sure people are beginning to FOMO into Bitcoin as Bitcoin starts approaching, again, the $18,000, $19,000, $20,000 area. I can't believe we're doing a video on this, everybody. I'm telling you, it just feels like yesterday that we were doing a video at $3,600. And here we are talking about just this $19,000 target as Bitcoin trades almost now at $17,500. So cool. Everybody, I don't know what else to say. It's just cool. It's enjoyable. I love being on this journey. I love doing these videos and just tracking this stuff with you. I hope you're enjoying it. At the end of the day, all I can say is expect nothing, anticipate everything. Anticipate $100,000. Anticipate Bitcoin dipping 30%. And track your portfolio. Look at your portfolio. Get comfortable with where you are. Don't take financial advice from anybody, let alone somebody on YouTube. I appreciate you. Hit that subscribe. Hit that like. Let's see what Bitcoin does today. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.